everyone, welcome back to the YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much for tuning back in. It has been a great week, a really busy week, and I just wanted to get on here and answer some questions from my Instagram DMs. Thanks guys for getting in my DMs and asking so many questions so I can make this video. For everyone who's brand new to wholesaling, check my past videos. There's so much free content. Literally, you could start your business today for free on YouTube. And if you guys want a video on that, check out my YouTube University video. It's literally every single YouTube video that I watched to teach myself the basics of wholesaling, start my business. And now I'm looking into further education, but I haven't paid for any classes or anything like that up until now, which it's been going great. I've done 17 deals so far, and I'm working on more for this year. And we're gonna see what's to come. And it's been going great so far. Trying to be consistent. And I actually just joined Tyler Austin, I believe his name, the guy who owns REI Sift. I just joined their auto lead gen challenge for December. I was recommended it by someone, and it seems like a really good way to boost your business. And I really want to learn how to track things really well and turn this into like a automated, predictable business, you could say, instead of going from deal to deal to deal. So that's where I'm at with everything right now, and I'll keep you guys updated on how that challenge goes. I'm really excited for it, and especially going into 2021, doing something that's so involved. I think it'll be great. Just like when you read like a self-help book or something right before the new year starts, it's like you go in all ready to go. So I'm gonna answer some of these questions from the Instagram, and then if you guys need further explanation, ask in the comments. If you guys get value from this, like, share, comment, follow me on Instagram, and just keep working, keep trying. I preach cold calling because that's all I do for lead gen, but we're gonna see with this lead gen challenge what other methods are and how they're all working. But if you're calling, keep calling. I know it's frustrating, it's annoying, but it's more than worth it, I promise. Let's get into these questions. So this one is, they said, so if I'm a beginning wholesaler and I haven't come up with a business name, who do I tell the seller I am? If they want to do research on my name or brand, what would I tell them? That I'm a new investor? So there's a couple ways you could go about that. You could always just be like a husband and wife team, a mom and daughter team, a family team that's investing in properties. That way you don't have to have so much credibility in the beginning. But how I started, I already had my LLC. I made my website, and that literally will take you like 4 hours to do everything. Like you can buy your LLC online, you can make your website easily, using, what did I use? Wix. I used Wix in the beginning, and it's super easy to just, they even have like a real estate template that you can use. So it's literally like just changing all the words, buying a domain, maybe $12. You know, the LLC might be a couple $100 depending on the state. So I would definitely suggest setting that up beforehand so you can look professional and you can have that credibility. But if you don't, or if you don't have the money, you could always say, oh, my husband and I were looking for one more property, we're landlords, blah blah blah. Or I always say my mom and I, because you can kind of tell from my voice that I'm younger. A lot of times they'll be like, oh, you're probably younger than my daughter, you're probably younger than my son. I get that a lot. So I always have my mom and my uncle, which they do have rental properties, so I'm not lying. But I always say, you know, I'm investing with them, I'm looking for properties with them, and I am looking for properties for them. So it's never a lie, but just kind of phrase it how it makes sense for your situation. If you're really young, if you're older, you can say your wife, your partners, whatever. It doesn't have to be an LLC or business, but of course it's better if it is. Next question. So this person says, what happens if you have a house but the buyer lives out of state? Who turns the agreement into the title company? So luckily, not just COVID, but in general, everything's via internet, DocuSign, HelloSign, whatever you use. So everything gets done online. If the title company needs a notary for whatever reason, they will send one out. There's mobile notaries who can do it virtually over video. So there's just so many options right now in 2020. Don't even worry about that. If your buyer is out of state, seller's out of state, you're out of state, it doesn't matter. I've had situations like that where I'm out of state, the seller's out of state, and the buyer's out of state. The only thing in the state is the house. So it's all good. It doesn't matter either way. Everything's going to be done via DocuSign, HelloSign. They'll get papers mailed to them, and they can next day them to FedEx if they have to get something notarized. So there's just so many ways to go about it. That's the best part about virtual wholesaling. So the next question, if I was brand new and had $500 to $1,000 to use, what tools would you use and how would you break down the budget? Okay. Then they said, to land your first deal, what does it cost? Craigslist, the free route, is farmed hard in any market with less than 3 pages. 1/2 are marketing or trailer homes. Thanks. This would be so helpful for others too, I know. Okay. So yeah, I actually had an Instagram post like when I first started, because I quickly realized like when I got my first 3 deals off the first list I pulled, now when I look back I could say, okay, I was lucky, or I just called the crap out of that list, you know? But I did call the crap out of that list, and I pulled that list. I'm going to pull up my post so I can tell you exactly what it was. I realized that with that list and with my initial investment, it was only like $400 total, and I got 3 deals from that equaled assignment fees total over $30,000, but I had partners, so what I made total was like around $20,000, or maybe just under. So I realized I was able to make that with just $400, and then that's when I made this post, because I'm like, wow, that really wasn't that expensive. So this is the post. It's from June 18th. I put how I turned $400 into $15,000 during COVID. So my first deal was $15,000, so that's why I said this one. But that same list ended up with 2 more deals. So it was really actually more than that, but from A to Z. So prop stream, right? $99 a month. Skip tracing, REI Skip. So I skip traced a list of 800 contacts, and that cost me $120 on REI Skip. And then the dialer system, I got Phone Burner, which is $150 a month. DocuSign is $20 a month. Okay, so that right there is just under $400. And then, of course, the time and the effort. So if you have $500 to start, you're great. You're in great shape. You just need a list, the dialer, you need to skip trace, and there's so much free information on YouTube. How to pull a list. I have a video on how to pull a good list. There's so many other wholesalers who have so many different list videos. You have your driving for dollars distressed property lists. You have your vacant, absentee, depending on what service you wear. Like if you use GeoPoint data or like hot wholesale data, you have your likely to be distressed. You can do elderly people over 60 who live in a 2-story house. There's so many different ways you can play with it. I think the more saturated your market is, the more creative that you're going to want to be. But besides that, that's all you really need. If you have $500, you're good to go. If you have $1,000, maybe you want to spend that extra $500 putting out Bandit signs if you're in one of those markets where you feel like Bandit signs are a thing and good. I haven't done Bandit signs at all, but I know a lot of people do them and they get a lot of results. So maybe you want to spend some money on pay-per-click or Facebook ads. Maybe you want to use that $500 to do text blasting. If I had $1,000, I would add in text blasting, which I've been using the Smarter Contact the last month and a half or so, and I really like that a lot better than the other ones, just because you can pay pacing it out versus having to pay everything up front. Like Lead Sherpa can get super expensive. Batch was getting really expensive because I tried those both, and I feel like the Smarter Contact is just better for me and what I'm doing. I'm not sending out 10,000 text messages a day, so I don't need that unlimited plan that costs $500-$600 a month, and the more markets you're in, the more it costs. So I like to keep my texting simple. I've gotten 3 deals from texting total in 2020, and then I've gotten way more from cold calling. So but if I had the whole $1,000, I would add a text blasting system. If I had $500, prop streams $100 a month. I'll skip trace using REI Skip or using hot wholesale data, and then I will get to calling that list with my dialer system, and that's it. That's how I started, and that's definitely what I would suggest to everyone. Best method for lead generation, in my opinion. That's funny. And how much do you pay your cold caller per hour? So I said it a million times, cold calling, best method for lead generation, in my opinion. How much do you pay your cold caller per hour? It depends. I was paying mine $3 an hour. I actually now switched to a couple cold callers to make commission instead of paying them $3 an hour, just to get more of a motivated, hungry vibe. I think sometimes when you're working for hourly, it can kind of just be like, whatever. But if you're working and you have to get a lead to eat, then you're a lot more hungry. And I think it's working way better so far. So right now, 20% commission for cold callers, which is high. A lot of people only pay 10%. So how do you test a virtual market? I talked a little bit about that in my last video about virtual markets. You call the list, and you see. So this question says, do you do Bandit signs? If so, do you have a voicemail set up for the inbound calls, or do you try to answer them? That's funny because I just talked about that. No, I don't do Bandit signs. What I did do, I'll give you guys I can't even call this a free gem because I didn't do it consistently enough to see if it would actually work. But what I did do instead of Bandit signs was, for my market, I went on Vistaprint, and you know how they have those address labels? So instead of an address, I put "We buy houses." I wonder if I have any. Well, if I find them, I'll show you guys them in another video. But I put "We buy houses," any condition, call or text, Teddy, which was my fake name. Well, which was my name for those, because Toddy is kind of a weird name. So I always try to go by like Tanya, Alex, Teddy, like common names that people will remember easily. So I put that, and then the phone number for them to call or text, right? And then I hired my boots on the ground in Ohio. From Vistaprint, I had Vistaprint ship them to his house, okay? And then I had him put those little address label size stickers, so they're that big, and they say "We buy houses" with the phone number, and I had him put them on every 87 pump. So I got that idea from this book I read called "If You Can't Wholesale After This, I've Got Nothing For You." It's by Todd Fleming. He was saying that he's seen somebody put stickers on gas pumps as like a wholesaling method, and I'm like, how am I gonna get small stickers like that? And I thought address labels. So Vistaprint address labels, super cheap. I think I got like 300 something of them for like $15. And then I paid the guy $10 per sheet, because it was like maybe 5 sheets of paper. So I paid him like $50. He went around, put them on every 87 pump in a certain neighborhood. He took pictures, and he told me the cross streets of all the pumps that he put them on, which I got that idea from Cody Sperber, the clever investor, who actually, if you subscribe to all his free stuff he actually gives you sheets for driving for dollars and for Bandit signs. So when you pay somebody to drive for dollars for you, or you pay someone to do Bandit signs for you, you can actually track them. So Cody Sperber, clever investor, he's awesome YouTube video. He's like one of the oldest wholesaler teacher guys ever, but he's not old, but I mean, like, he's one of the people that like were making YouTube videos a long time ago. So some of his videos, probably like 7 years ago, you'll see really good content. Maybe not super relevant to virtual wholesaling, but still, if you go back and watch those videos and get creative, you can find ways to apply them. So that's one of the things I did do. I just didn't do it consistently enough. So he only went out, did it once, didn't really get a lot, and that's when I first started. So cold calling was really getting hot for me, and I just kind of let it go because I had more leads than I could handle. Now, thinking about starting that back up again now that I have a little help. So that was my version of Bandit signs, which was cool. But if anyone does it and it works for them, let me know. And if I start doing it again and it works for me, I'll let you guys know. So this person said, "Hello, I'm getting into wholesaling myself, but I want to know if you're doing a deal virtually, does the title company have to be around the same area as the property you're wholesaling, or can they be in a whole other state?" So the title company should be in the same city as the deal is. So the property and the title company should be in the same city. Or if you work with a virtual title company, or one of those title companies that's everywhere, like I think Fidelity. I think there's a couple that are all across the United States. So if you use a title company like that, then it doesn't matter. But otherwise, definitely stick to a title company that's in the same city as the house that you're gonna wholesale is in. Someone said, "What dialer do I use?" I use Phone Burner. And if they ask you for a referral, you can just put TADI, Hot Wholesale, or whatever if you want. When you find your deals in PropStream, what kind of properties do you call? you can get that answer from that pulling lists video. So in the pulling lists video that I did last week, I literally talk about like all the different types of lists. The list I pulled when I first started, which is what a lot of people ask me, what was the first list you pulled? Because getting 3 deals out of my first virtual list was kind of, to me, it's still a big deal, because if I get a list and I get 3 deals out of a list, that's really good. And I don't know about you guys and what your KPIs are as far as like the lists you pull and how many deals you get, but when I'm pulling like a list of like 800 to 1,000, 3 deals is really good, because I've pulled a couple lists like that where I've only gotten 1 deal, and I pulled one list of 1,500 where I got no deals. So I think you just have to get creative and get really specific, but that pulling lists video will explain all the lists and how I pulled them. So that's the types of properties I call. And as far as a text script, text blasting, you guys, is so simple. Like if someone texted you about your house, of course, be polite. Hey, Jane, this is Tanya. I'm a local homeowner, landlord, whatever, and I was interested in your property at blank. Please text me back if you're interested in selling. I always say, like, text me back if interested, text me back if yes, because I want them to text me, not call me, because a lot of people will get a text and be like, who's this, and immediately call, and then, like, cuss you out or waste your time. So I just say, please text me if you're interested, and they'll text back, no, yes, whatever. So I don't have a script, but I basically say that in a bunch of different ways. I don't say like, oh, I work with this company. I don't make it all professional, and I definitely don't say the company or my real name, just in case they are the type of people who are like, I'm going to report you to the SEC or whatever. Just avoid all that. Keep it really simple. The next person said, good morning, I found a house I want to wholesale, but the owner died, and there isn't any other owner info. What is next? So, if you have access to a private investigator or a single skip tracing, REI skip won't do it. I think wholesale data, GeoPoint will do it, where you can skip trace someone and you get some of their, I think it's called premium data, but you might have to call. I'm pretty sure you can call. So if you go to Hot Wholesale Data and you go to the bottom and you actually contact, I'm pretty sure you can get more detailed information. So you want it more, so what's called like a deep dive. So if you have a private investigator that you can use, I had one and she charged me just $10 for a deep dive. So you'll pay a little bit more. This is if you know this is like, oh, this is an amazing lead. Like you're going to pay that $10 and you'll get all their like next of kin, anyone who ever lived there, all their associated family members, relatives, everything like that, and you literally call everybody you can and try to get the deal. Honestly, even on True People Search and stuff like that, you can see their family members. So you really just have to do more research, find the owner's family members, and one of them will know what's going on. If it's in probate, if it's not in probate, who they need to call. Oh, we need to call the sister, the auntie, the mom. They're the ones who got the will. They're maybe sick, or this is going on with them. So you just need to find their family. Skip trace their family, find their family one way or another. Let's see. So, okay, this guy had 2 really good questions. So, one, he said, can I explain a quitclaim deed? So, yes. So, quitclaim deed, a regular deed, a general warranty deed, meaning that this is like a certified deed, this property is yours, there's no liens, there's no back taxes, there's nothing encumbering the home. So an encumbrance, if you Google encumbrance, it's probably going to be like a burden, something like that. Like that's kind of what that word means. So an encumbrance is like something that's on the house. So a lien, say somebody did a new roof and then you refuse to pay them, they could put a lien on the house for the amount of money you owe them. So when you get a general warranty deed, that means you're getting insurance on the title, because you want to get title insurance. That's why you want the warranty deed. So those 2 things are saying you don't owe anything on this house, free and clear, it's all yours. I mean, there might be a mortgage or something, but there's no liens, taxes, nothing like that, right? In the case that there is those things, then you want to use a quitclaim deed, which is literally a piece of paper, literally a piece of paper that says this property is being transferred to this person, blah, 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 blah. It's a quick way to transfer the deed of the house. Now, you transfer the deed of the house, but when you, the new owner, record that deed, all of those liens, taxes, and stuff like that, they stay with the house. So you still owe that money. So if you go try to sell that house with a general warranty deed, all of those fees are going to have to be paid out before you. So a quitclaim deed is usually used if there are liens, back taxes, things like that. Or if there's nothing, but they don't want to go through the whole process of title and pay that money to transfer the title. They just want to transfer the deed. The house is free and clear, maybe between family members, maybe to just sell it. It doesn't matter because you can use a quitclaim deed. It's a legal document. You and I can sell our houses to each other for $1. It doesn't matter. And then we can go to the city and record it. It's usually used, though, if there are back taxes, liens, or for an interfamilial transfer. Typically, when we're doing these wholesale deals, though, you want to use a title company. You want to get the buyer a general warranty deed. It's only in really specific scenarios where a quitclaim deed is appropriate. So I hope that made sense. I'm sure there's tons of YouTube videos on quitclaim deeds, though. And then also, how do I bring up the lockbox situation? So obviously, when you get a house under contract, buyers are going to need to walk the property, and if it's vacant, you want to put a lockbox on it. So how do I address that? So I tell them, so first of all, my boots on the ground, I'll call him my GC, my general contractor. So what a GC or general contractor does is they walk a property, they look around, they say this needs to be fixed, and then they go find people who are going to go do that work, the subcontractors, right? So what I tell them is, my GC is going to do a walkthrough, get some pictures. We're going to go to the drawing board, figure out what's what, and then we'll be sending people in to do walkthroughs to get bids. So it may be 3 different people, it may be 7 different people. We really don't know right now. It just depends on if the first bids are really good or not. So yeah, this is kind of a true stretch because the people walking in are going to be doing bids, but they're going to be doing their own bids to buy the property, right? But this is if you can't be completely honest, like with the seller, and tell them I have buyers and everything like that. Like, you have to have a certain amount of like savvy to know the type of person you're dealing with, if they're going to be furious that you're not the one actually buying the house, or if they're okay that it's your partners. Because you could always say, you know, my partners are going to come walk the property with their contractors. I'm trying to see who I'm going to work with, so are you okay with me putting a lockbox on the property? Or you can say, I'm going to need multiple people to walk the property to get multiple bids. Are you okay with me putting a lockbox? Or I'll say, how I like to phrase it is, I'm going to need a lot of different people to walk the property to get different bids. So would you rather meet there and let them in each time, or can we just put a lockbox on it? And if it's vacant, 9 times out of 10, they're like, just put a lockbox on it. They'll meet you there with the keys or whatever, meet your boots on the ground, and then you can put the lockbox on it. I haven't had too much trouble with that. There has been a couple people who just absolutely refuse. In that scenario, you have to take the boots on the ground to the showing and make sure the buyers don't talk to the sellers, which is a whole nother thing. But when that happens and it's successfully done, you talk to your boots on the ground, they're like, oh yeah, nobody talked to the sellers. It's like, whew, because they'll try to cut you out for sure. So what is my follow-up process? How do I run my drip campaign for calling sellers? So my follow-up process, so I use Phone Burner and then I use REI Black Book. So if I get like a lead, right now since I have cold callers and then I have people helping me with acquisitions, they will follow up on their leads daily. But when I was doing all my own acquisitions, I would follow up on my leads daily by tracking them on Google Sheets and also using REI Black Book to set up tasks for myself. And of course, Phone Burner to keep track of which leads are warm, hot, dead, etc. Definitely looking for a better way. I'm thinking about trying to find like a really good custom podio. So if you guys know anyone, like I'm not really tech savvy, but if you guys know like a really good podio I can buy from someone, please let me know. And if they can show me how to use it, I'm a quick learner, like it'll take me like 10 minutes, but they just walk me through it, because I do want something really simple, like going from Phone Burner directly into my Podio or whatever CRM, because right now I'm moving everything manually by myself, so it is time consuming. So that's one thing, and I'm hoping the REI Sift, the auto lead gen challenge, I'm hoping there's some CRM knowledge in there, because that's what I really need. So I'm going to answer one last question here so this video doesn't last too long. So this person said, I've been on Craigslist looking for sale by owner. I also have Flipster to run numbers, but I've been calling a lot more for sure. It feels like, I know Flipster is a waste of money to some because we can learn so much with the free data online. So this is my opinion, okay? I feel like calling Craigslist and Zillow for sale by owners is a waste of time unless you're just trying to practice cold calling. I promise you, because this is how I see it. If I'm a cash buyer, right? Me, personally, I'm looking for a property to buy, rental property, whatever. Before I go to a wholesaler, I'm going to look on Craigslist, on Zillow. I'm going to go get a real estate agent, have them look on the MLS for me. I'm going to go through every avenue to find a property, including wholesalers. I'm not just going to only look for wholesalers on Facebook or wherever. You know what I mean? Like, any deal that's on Zillow or Craigslist is probably already seen by all the cash buyers. So unless you can lock it up for like ridiculously lower than they advertised it for on Zillow, on Craigslist or whatever, or on fsbo.com, it feels to me like you're just competing for no reason for a deal that you're going to lock up and probably not even be able to sell. Because think about it like this, okay? For sale by owner on Zillow, this property's out there for $120,000 for sale by owner. It's on Zillow, right? Every cash buyer saw it. So if the buy price for a cash buyer for that property after they've walked it, after they see it, if they're at $70,000, right? The owner doesn't want $70,000. They want at least $100,000. You know what I mean? The cash buyer and the owner probably have already done this, and then here you come, whether you're a new wholesaler or not, and you're trying to get it for 50, for 70 or whatever, and say you do get it, but you get it for 80 or 90. The cash buyers have already seen it, and now you don't look credible because you're advertising a property that's already been advertised on the internet. I feel like if we're wholesaling and we're wholesaling off-market properties, why would we be calling people that's on the market, even if it is for sale by owner? And I mean if it's for sale by owner on Zillow or Craigslist, because that's the internet. If you're driving around and you see a for sale sign, and then you go on the internet and it's not for sale anywhere there, I wouldn't consider that on market. That's still off market. But if it's on the internet, it's on market. That's how I feel about it. And I feel like also a lot of people have messaged me and called me and talked to me about this. Like, I don't know if there's some class or something teaching people to go on Zillow for sale by owner and just offer everybody half price or something. And then if you get lucky, you get lucky, or Craigslist or something like that. But keep in mind, like, especially in these small markets where people are buying rental properties every day, they already looked on Craigslist. They already looked on Zillow. To me, it makes you lose credibility. If I see somebody post something, and it's even worse when you post something that's on Zillow for sale by owner for more than the owner posted it for. Like, oh my God. It just makes us look bad as wholesalers in general. We want to find properties that no one has seen before. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much. Like, share, subscribe. If you got some value from this episode, follow me on Instagram at The Hot Wholesale, and I'll see you guys next time.